All right, this is the final match of round three Swiss between Team USA and Team Catalonia. Round three Swiss between Team USA and Team. This is the final match. We got Tom McKenzie subbing in for Eric Swanson. Tom's gonna be playing Tyrell versus Axlan of Catalonia, playing Stark. Let's take a look at some decks here. All right, here's the Catalonian Stark Fealty. Mira Reed is the restricted card. Valor D is the reset. We got a couple of heirs here. Now let's switch over to Tyrell Dragon. I think what it's trying to do is there in the title. Renly Voltron. The restricted card here is King in the North. Renly being the main king. I guess you got a Crown of Golden Roses to be another way to get there. And then we're going to see some Voltroning with Queen's Guard. And I guess what Gifts of the Widow can go and fetch that pretty easily. Let's jump into the game here.
The Stark player does have good counters for what Tom's going to be doing here, trying to do Voltroning a character. Tom's probably going to have to see several Renown and get pretty wide to stop the Mira and Milk of the Poppy from shutting down what he's going to.
All right, so it looks like they already got started there. Tom kept his hand. I guess it's Alex. Axlan is Alex. Took a mulligan, but looks like it was pretty good. I mean, Rob Stark, Rickon, no Econ, but oh wait, did
It was only Rob duped and Rickon on their setup. They've
all right,
come
so
out
yeah,
what they had in hand.
a lot of Econ dropping in the first round, only 2 limited, but got it. All right, there's Renly.
To make things a lot harder for Axlan or Alex, as now Brienne isn't going to be able to defend. Now, Tom still has 7 gold left. I'm not really sure. I don't know if he's maybe thinking of putting attachments on things or playing characters to get a wider board. It's hard to tell exactly what he has.
But he popped that King Road, so
Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be at least 5 or 6 more gold spent, if not all 7. And it looks like he's going to go digging for an attachment. It's canceled, so that's going to stop that.
So tell me that when he plays Gifts for the Widow like that, does he pay? Do he pay the full cost and then brand cancels? Yeah, okay. So that costs 3 gold.
Actually, I think just from how much gold he's had and spent, I think he played it for 1
Okay.
originally, trying to bait the Rickon trigger if I had to guess, and then he actually spent the 3 to go get Queen's.
Right. He played two gifts.
Yes.
Okay. So cool. That seems good.
Yeah, otherwise, I don't know. He did have 7 gold left after marshaling Renly, and he's down to 1, and I only see 5 on the sideboard, so I'm assuming that it was a 1.
Yeah. I'm just not seeing a cost in the log.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to show one. It just has that Rick and Start canceled it. But when you would play that, you would have to spend the gold that it would take
Mm-hmm.
to play.
It's part of the cost before Rickon can interrupt and cancel it.
Yeah. Now that makes this much more awkward for the Stark player because his board isn't. I mean, he doesn't have easy claims, so obviously he has the dupe on Rob, but he lost the body, and we know that Tom's going to be going through cards here quite.
So Brienne isn't going to kneel, but what we're probably seeing that's probably going to be the stealth target, wouldn't you assume? Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be. To be honest, I don't know if it may have been better to stealth Brienne and send Alisane and She-Bear. I mean, neither way are they going to, or not, sorry, not stealth Brienne, stealth Renly and send Alisane and She-Bear. That way he could, or they could win the military.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps the power off of Renly.
So how does it work using Renly's reaction there? So if it's not loyal, you don't show it. If it is loyal, you do show it. Is that, or is that's all still you optional
It's
after?
still optional. It's a reaction. You can trigger it if you want to or not. You don't have to reveal it unless you
All we
triggered
know
it.
is that it was not triggered.
That's correct.
That's probably a pretty good hit. I am no one. Now, part of the just so that I can understand, like part of the thing that really fires this is that Renly's insight allows Tom to keep drawing cards to feed the Queen's Guard, right? Like that's
And
part of.
if you draw a loyal card, it actually you still net one card to stand him back.
Mm-hmm.
So this deck is extremely fast whenever it gets Renly and a Queen's Guard on.
And we saw Stark's reset is Valor D. It's not Valor M. So
But the best thing it's going to do is just get Brienne off the board to so that they don't have a non-kneeling defender with.
so this is worthwhile for Tom still, even though there was no power to steal. You're still getting renown, right? And
Yeah, he's still getting renown, still getting the insight.
if he's pulled a loyal card, he hasn't triggered it yet. At least not that I saw, right?
Now I haven't seen him reveal anything yet. But at this point, too, Tom can slow play whatever he has in his hand. He doesn't have to go very wide with what he has out there, so he can kind of just hang out until the start player plays their Valor Doharis and be in
Mm-hmm.
good.
I was just wondering, like, did it? I guess with loan from the Iron Bank, the reserve's 5, so you get Missandei out there, even though I guess it helped with dominance, but
Yeah,
did not
it's
actually win dominance. But that may not be like having a power on Stark's not bad. Anyway, right? I think Missandei was going to get discarded or put out one way or the other there. All right, so
yeah, but Valor Harris, I figured would come either this round or next. It had to come soon.
mm-hmm.
And Tom's, of course, has the king out there for the king in the north, so this should be a pretty good round for Tom.
So this is definitely Renly and Marjorie. Is Marjorie's the keeper here? Yep.
That's who I would pick without, having intimate knowledge of the deck, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's where he'll go.
Sir Duck in chat says Stark needs a milk here. Just,
Yeah, they either have to find a milk or a Mira to blank out Ren.
there it
And there's the
is.
milk.
Mm. Think you jinxed it, Sir Duck. All right. What do we know? Does Tyrell have?
He is running a confiscation, so that shouldn't stick too long.
And milk doesn't stop traits. Is that right? Or yeah. So King of the
Yeah,
North still working.
it just stops the insight and renown.
Mm-hmm. But Stark's board's still turned off, right?
Yeah, he can't trigger anything. I didn't look for sure, but I don't think he's running the king attachment, so I don't think there's any way he's going to be doing anything this round.
Tom hasn't really hit much econ yet, and with I guess with Rick on didn't was at the gates an option for this Tyrell deck, right? Or no?
It isn't,
It
no.
is not. No, they're running airs.
He actually doesn't have all that much economy to begin with. He's looking to get one big character out, and he uses his loan to do.
Okay, bodyguard
And he
on Renly. Yeah.
say he played out Renly, got the renown out there, so he's still in pretty good shape at this point.
I guess the nice thing about Alyssane here is that what this is not a triggered reaction, so her power is still gonna work even with this plot. Is that right?
Yep, that's right. She'll swing in, make him kneel. One of the two. I'm not sure which one he'll decide to kneel, but I'm assuming it'll be the Knight of Flowers.
How many
In this
milks is
game,
Stark
having that
running? Three. All
that
right.
dupe, yeah, having that dupe on and the bodyguard really helps Tom this turn because if the Stark player wants to, they can win a military. And they've decided to just try and defend a little bit. And that's probably why he was afraid to put out Miss Andy last round, because had her in hand again.
Mm-hmm. Well, seems like a good hit. I don't know. Does Winterfell that impactful in this matchup?
It's nice to stop the extra card draw from Renly, but and if
Once, yeah.
Rand, yeah, yeah, one time, and if Randall would happen to be in it, Tom can't boost Randall to stand him back up during the challenge, but he can do it after the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Renly's Queensguard is just an action, so it can happen after the challenge, so he can stand him right back up.
Sir Duck in chat says Winterfell also stops Beacon and Superior Claim. I know what Superior Claim is. What is Beacon?
It's an attachment, Beacon of the South.
And this is
Oh,
something.
it lets you gain an extra power if you win by 5.
Gotcha. That renown on Night of Flowers is nice.
Yeah, Renown fuels this deck, so having the extra body after the milk on Renly is super.
Okay, going into round 3, up 8-0.
Yeah, I'm assuming a confiscation comes from Tom, and he tries to close this turn if he can.
And Stark wants to see another milk, I'm guessing. Kind of needs to.
Yeah, that'd be very good for them.
Air's interesting, right? I mean, Alisane's doing pretty well. So, you think this is mostly looking for a dupe, or just get another big body out is more important than Alisane?
They may have Alisane in hand, or they may be digging for Mira, hoping to put her out, and then you can then put her right into shadows, and getting the card draw from Wyman's always.
Mira is the answer, okay. But Caitlyn is the card actually pulled. Oh yeah, and that triggers a draw for Wyman there, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Whenever Wyman and Mira are together, that's a very good plot to use to get extra draw and a nice card into shadows.
All right, Tom looking for more cards here. Because cards in this matchup equals more actions, so. Oh!
And there's the other milk. So
All right, well that's good for Stark. Kind of needed it, right?
yeah, if he didn't, or if they didn't have it there, it was probably gonna be 13 or 14 power for Tom. So it was gonna be rough to stop him at that.
And is Beacon kind of a workaround on Milk? Is that part of it? Is it he could still throw Beacon on Renly's?
Oh,
I mean,
he also gets the extra power anyway. So I mean,
mm-hmm.
he gets 2 power per challenge if he has his renowns. It just speeds the game up a lot. And you can trigger, I mean, if he had Beacon on there with Renown, he could get 6 power around on Renown.
And Tom doesn't have any other way of getting that milk off now, right?
Not that I noticed looking over the deck. I think that was the only one.
Well, what normally, what Targ has, what is it, Shadow of the East that can take
Yeah,
care of
Tom
that?
does not have that.
Yeah, right. Is that loyal too? I don't even know.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I think it is.
Mhm.
I'm sure one of these guys in chat will say whether it is or not.
It's a moot point anyway.
Yes.
Sir Duck points out that yes, he could air. He could clear Renly with an air to the Iron Throne, but that's probably not great.
No, not with him having 4 power and Queen's Guard and Bodyguard on him. So. I missed the Lord Renly's right. I was trying to figure out how Renly had the Intimidate. So he'll be able to win 3 challenges here with Renly and get to kneel out almost the entire board.
Nice. Tom seems to be doing things pretty well here. Like the challenge order mattered a lot here. Like with Rob on the board, you got to do military first, right? That's kind of standard anti-Rob strategy.
Yeah, you need to make sure and use up that first challenge. Although looking at his board, I don't know how or who he would have killed besides Arya Stoops. So,
Yeah.
but it's better to do it that way than to have them surprise and get rid of Sansa and stand every.
So 11 strength power here. Is this suggesting that there may be a superior claim in hand? There's no power on the house card for Stark, but there's Caitlyn to block it anyway.
Well, she was already knelt with the
Oh, I'm
uh,
sorry. I'm sorry.
intimidate.
So what was I was wrong. So it was Sansa coming in, Friedman now come in because okay, so it gets Friedman in also. With Stark already having used the VD, there's no reason for Tom not to go wide.
Yeah, I think that's the only. Tom also has a VD, but he's not gonna do that to his own board.
No.
But yeah, there's no other reset from the Stark player. The Stark player will be able to swing back here with a Wyman trigger, but again, he's losing board presence doing that, and he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have a huge chance. It come down to whether they really want to win a challenge and whether they actually can. As I see, there's a lot of strength yet standing for intrigue and power.
And Renly can. He hasn't used Queen's Guard 3 times, has he? I mean, Renly can still
No,
stand.
he's only used it twice.
you were.
Okay, he's they use Wyman to try and protect their hand here. And stand everyone with Rob.
It's powerful.
Now, Tom can protect against a military here since he still has a Renly stand, and he can decide which challenge he wants the start player to get through, because he can block one of the challenges, the intrigue or the power. Unless the start player sends everyone on a power.
Is that odd choice Marjorie as the stealth target? I guess the question is like, which is the challenge, Tom? Like he can choose to stop one of
Uh,
these, couple of these. I
right
mean,
now, with the start player sending Cat,
oh
now
right,
Tom cannot stop this power.
right.
And the winner is coming, of course, to try and bring Tom farther away from winning the game. But that should be the only challenge that the start player is able to win if Tom wants to stop them from winning anything else.
I mean, the longer this goes, now that Renly's milked, the longer this goes, things start to swing back towards Stark a little bit, right? Hard to say.
A lot of it depends on what Tom has in hand, but he's still in a very strong position. He can win all three challenges attacking, and that round, the Stark player had a very good round, but they used their Northern Armory. They lost Sansa, who, if they would draw a Septim Ordain, is an amazing card.
If Tom had Renly in hand, would you consider replacing him? I don't know. Or is it just you don't give it up?
I don't know if right now if Tom could actually replay a Ren. He's
Okay.
got -2 gold on each of his revealed plots, so
Hmm. Tarly's
and
good.
Randall
There's a
Tarley's very good to see in this position.
and there's Mira Reed.
Yes, that was a very good find for the Stark player as well.
Because she'll be able to blank Randall now, right?
Yeah, she'll shut down Randall, and the milk will keep Renly shut down. So that was a huge draw for the Stark player, a huge find. Well, Tom's been finding a lot of card draw to make up for the lost insight on Renly. So he's still got a handful of cards he can pitch to stand Renly.
Mm-hmm. Duping everybody up.
The problem the Stark player may run into is finding targets to sacrifice, because they're going to want Sansa in the shadows as much as, or Sansa, Mira in shadows as much as possible. And I just don't really see a very good
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice target on.
You need the weenies to kind of fuel this engine, right?
Yeah, they're important to keep Mira in shadows. So being able to play Eddard this round really closed the game, though. Like made the game a lot closer. It's going to be whether Tom can finish before the Stark player can
Mm-hmm.
rush to 15.
Another Renly's would be nice. Oh, there's only one Renly's ride in the deck. Thanks.
Superior and claim in hand this round would be very good for Tom, though.
You think that Stark saving um, Caitlyn for the power challenge defense?
They may be, but at this point, I don't know. I don't know who they would sacrifice. I mean, to be able to stand people back up. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly how the Stark's going to play this out. It's hard to tell until we see what the power challenge looks like. For
Mm-hmm. 'Cause, 'hmm. 'Cause, 'hmm. 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 'hmm Okay, so both of your, I was gonna say both of your renowned characters, but Randall's blanked, so only Knight of Flowers. And Stark can't put Caitlyn into this, so well, you're really defending against potentially 11, so you'd have to completely sell out to defend this.
Yeah, even if they do sell out to defend it, they're still going to lose the challenge. So
Hmm.
I figured they kind of block with one guy and or leave it on a. I couldn't imagine them kneeling every single character just
Hmm.
to stop a military when they have several dupes on
Several
the.
dupes, yeah. Yeah, so 7 out of 8 power on the Tyrell side is in the form of renown. Tom's being real deliberate here. These boards are big enough that the challenge math is pretty hard to grok completely. I know when the boards get this big for me, I'm completely overwhelmed by the
Not
options.
only not only that, but the start player also still has a Northern Armory they can use, so that muddies it even.
All right, that's it. All right, James Walmsley has joined the chat, or yes, is in the chat and has asked who is definitely going to win. Jaren, I'm going to throw this question to you.
Right now, I'm actually really liking where the Stark players at.
Definitely.
There's no definitely, but I'm liking right now the start player has a lot of the answers that they. A lot of it's going to depend if they have the characters they need to fuel the Wyman and me.
Milk of the Poppy seems like a good card.
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing card in these decks that are looking to get one character with a bunch of attachment.
Yeah, the attachments on Renly are Queensguard, Milk of the Poppy, and Bodyguard. And this is the second milk that's been placed on Renly. The first one was cleared by a confiscation on previous round. So Stark's been able to keep Renly blank for the last 2 turns. Alright, uses the other Northern Armory.
Right now, it looks like if they do a power, it'd be 15 to 15. So they'd win that. And they'd get a bunch of power off of it with 2 renown plus Eddard trigger.
Yeah, did you say 15-15 on power? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there,
Or
Tom. Tom pre-challenged growing strong to ensure that he can win pretty much any challenge that they decide to set.
why do you do that pre-challenge?
As soon
Oh, as
as
soon as
the
is
start
Caitlyn,
player
yeah, nails.
initiates,
Yep, yep, yep. Right. Yeah, but not even getting like a stand of Randall out of that because of blanked, because of Mira.
yeah, at this point, Tom, I think, realizes that his Randall probably is going to get blanked every round the rest of the game. So there's no point in saving it for that. And also,
Mm-hmm.
Marjorie can do it in a pinch.
All right,
That
this.
should make the challenge math quite simple. I don't think the Stark player can win either challenge at this. About the only way the Stark player could win now would be to sack. I would assume they'd have to sack Catelyn to stand everyone and swing in with the power. But that's a pretty high price to pay for winning a power challenge.
This has become a grind. And
Yep,
a little
they decided to
temporary
just pass.
retreat. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't think giving up Catelyn in that situation would have been worth it either,
Mm-hmm.
especially since they have to know, well, they either have a character they much rather sack in hand or they just have to assume they're going to draw one. There's plenty in the deck to.
All right. Win-win. This is a win-win situation. That's the kind of quality commentary people in the stream can count on here. It's a lot of cards. They're all going away. So it seemed, I mean, Tom still had a little bit of a hand advantage there. If we were talking about like reflooding after VD, if they're both using their winners or dies now, that's going to be kind of canceled out. It's just the thought it's really not going to go that long. So you got to
I
do it
don't
all
think
now.
it's going to go.
Yeah.
It may go one more round after this. I think this round is going to decide the game pretty much.
And what Stark needs to hit some little
They
guys
found,
here. Yeah. So
yep,
now
and they found one. So
at least one.
Stark players sitting in a good shape.
Yep. Tom was very relieved yesterday when Alejandro won both of his matches, so that this game would not decide the matchup. Have you been following the testing on this matchup at all?
Derek let me know a little bit of how it was going, but it's sorry, I'm looking here at text to see what he said about it. He said it favors the Stark just because of the control they can put on the Voltron Ren.
Mm-hmm. Having Bran out is obviously really good. Is there an event that Tom particularly wants to get off this round?
If he has a Nightmares or a Superior Claim, he'd probably want to play either of those. But I just with Bran out, he's not going to get a chance to. I don't.
If you're Stark, what's what you kind of want to do? Like you kind of want Bran to cancel something so that you can put Mira back into shadows and get her trick. I mean, that's gonna it can kind of happen whenever with Wyman hitting the Winterfell Steward,
I'm
right?
assuming the Stark player is going to make a challenge with Mira using her stealth, and then use Wyman to sack the steward to put her back, and then bring her right back out to blank Randall. That way, they get two uses out of her, on challenges with stealth. But there's a lot of strength on Tom's side of the board too that they have to get through. And that ice on Eddard is going to be very nice if they can trigger it onto Knight of Flowers, really knock Tom. I haven't been doing challenge math, but I'm sure it is quite daunting at this point.
Yep. I'm not bothering. Okay. $14. And Randall is the stealth target there. Well, what Tyrell
I
can put together, what, 12 defense here? Or am I not doing it right?
if Tom would have an event, he could get to 14, but that still would just tie it up and wouldn't matter. And the event likely would not
Well, you're
resolve
mostly worried
anyway.
about the ice trigger here, right? And oh, right, it doesn't need +5. Okay, right. I was thinking it was +5. Wrong. All right, there's the nightmares. There goes Bran. You think Mira goes back into shadows with that?
No, I don't think she goes back now. I'm almost certain that the Stark player plans on putting the or sacking the. Okay, I guess.
I mean, she was only adding 1 strength. Sure,
Yes, but
the
now that's enough that Tom can now block it with 14 versus 13.
does she
And
blank Marjorie? Is that
the only way that they're going to win the military is if they blank Marjorie. And there it
that's
is, yes.
yeah.
And they still do have enough gold that they could do that again with Wyman and the Steward.
All right, and as his final action in this game, the Knight of Flowers blocks, chop blocks. There goes ice. Too clean, but plenty of dupes. Plenty of dupes to go around.
Yeah, then no character's going to die other than the Knight of Flowers this round. With no Valor D, they can get rid of dupes without fee.
So 3 power on characters there. So as of right now, Marjorie is blanked, but Randall is not, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And the Stark player may actually want to just put Mira back into shadows here and keep her there just in case this round doesn't go very well for Tom. He may be looking to Valor D next.
Well, that
If
can
it
kind of
even.
happen whenever, right?
Yeah, but it's nice to have her in shadows, so it's 2 less gold you have to save.
Mm-hmm.
But the Stark player is going to get very close here. They may actually have enough to win. I haven't really counted it. But they should be able to get 3 more power from Eddard and Rob together.
On a 2 claim.
Oh yeah, that's just 3 power on them plus 2 claim for the claim. So that'd put them at 13 right now. So They're very close.
All right, so the way this is going, what we'd kind of expect a sacrifice after this to stand Wyman, so Wyman can get into the power that's going to come as the third.
Yeah, I'm assuming at some point they may they're probably going to do it before the power to make sure to get it through.
Mm-hmm.
They could also wait and try and use that kind of as a surprise to defend, though I'm sure Tom knows about it. And also the Northern Armory stand could be used at some point.
Well, got the third one. I didn't,
Yeah, I just happened to notice that there. I hadn't
yeah.
seen it before.
Seems good. Ouch.
And that hurts Tom a lot, losing the superior claim.
Would have been a pretty different game if Stark hadn't found that second milk. But Caroline player
They,
had been through about half of the deck at that point, so it's not like that was any kind of crazy luck or anything.
yeah, they may have been holding the second one to begin with, too, just to
Hmm.
force out the confiscation and play it right away again.
Yeah. Yeah, the matchup does seem a little bit bad in that between three milks, Mira, Caitlyn, there's a lot of things that can get in the way of Renly just running rampant.
Yeah, if you're trying to build up, that's always been like the downfall of these Voltron decks. If you build up one character and your opponent can control it, then it's kind of hard.
Yeah, I think that's what we expected to see that. But yeah, could still bring Mirror Reed back out, but not sure what that does for you. Other than, I guess, stop Renly from swinging back a bunch, but not Renly.
Oh, Randall, but
Randall's what I
right
mean.
now,
Yep.
yeah, right now Tom has no way to stand him back up though, since he has 0 gold and
Mm-hmm.
Marjorie is blanked. So he'd
Yep.
get a renowned power, and that's about it.
Yep. Not looking
Yeah,
good.
it does look like right now the Stark player doesn't have enough strength to go over top of Tom though on the power, so they may just stay here and try and defend.
All right, there goes one theory. Was that necessary? What is it like? As you pointed out, what Randall doesn't really, other than a single renown, what does that do for you?
That's the only thing I could see that it would stop would be one renown. And now they run the risk of only having one character or two characters left if Tom would happen to VD next turn. That'd be rough to do with his board, but right now the Stark player is just he has all the best Stark characters are on the table right now for them.
Mm-hmm. If you're Tom, okay, so Alex finishes the challenges. Um, Do you just win power?
That's a tough choice. I don't. It's hard to tell for sure, not knowing what he has in hand. But
I mean, I guess you can do a.
right now,
Yeah.
it's 8-6, and Tom could win 2 challenges. The other 2 challenges he could win, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he could win the other two and not do a power, but he either has a choice of one power or a military and an intrigue. But you don't want to send something that the Stark player can block with,
Mm-hmm.
like, could actually win with Eddard and
Like
Rob.
intrigue's the only one that you can kind of not worry about giving up power, right?
Yeah, and it's not intrigue doesn't really matter this turn because both players have 0 reserve.
Why 20?
It looks like it is 20 actually.
Right. Oh,
I think
2020.
it's 2020. Yeah, apparently
Okay.
I miscounted before. Before he had the Winterfell steward on board, and he sacked him. So that was what had made it 21.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That's why. Again, Tom's right. I'm wrong. Insight, nice. But
Oh, Tom can throw those cards away since he has your reserve and
mm-hmm.
Stan Renly.
Mm-hmm.
I think one more time.
Right, so you can do an yeah. But what does the intrigue challenge
Well,
do anything
actually,
for you? Yeah.
he can stand him twice yet, but
But you don't want to throw him into a military because then.
yeah, the military that you can't win, you don't want to do.
I think this is the only other challenge. All right, so what's left here on Tom's side? We got what Valardi, Doharis,
Yeah, he
and
has BD and another heir.
another heir. We haven't seen.
Dark player has rationing and Winter Festival left.
Okay. All right, 8-7. Nobody has any cards. Stark still has one stand, kind of in the bank, and Tom's economy is pretty screwed.
Yeah, that's where it's going to come down to card draw, but the start player is probably going to be able to play anything they draw, and Tom may have some trouble. Well, Steven, Tom doesn't have everything he wants because he has a milk on Renly,
It's
so
more than he wants. The milk.
yeah, he wants nothing to do with the milk. And it looks like Tom just got a dupe for Renly.
That's probably a whiff, right?
Well, he does know that his VD is next, so unless it was super impactful or something that's going to win him the game this turn, I think you kind of just play it safe.
Well, he's losing slowly to Stark now, right? I mean, it's not.
Yeah, it's slow, but he's definitely in a not in a very good position.
That was fast. Willa, we hardly knew you. Here comes an event. Discard superior claim to get gifts to the widow. What do you think is the target for gifts here?
I'm assuming he's probably going to search for a beacon just so he can
Mm-hmm.
keep on gaining power onto
On Renly. Yeah.
no superior claims aren't really meaningful in this game since every time Tom sends a power challenge, the start player kneels Catlin to stop any triggers.
Does Beacon change that? I mean,
Oh, beacon just lets Tom gain power,
mhm.
and it's something that can't be blanked by Mira. Oh, he went for the crown instead. I'm not sure how much use he'll get out of that. He doesn't really have much in the way of a hand at this point, and he has two attachments that require a card discard to be able to use.
If you're Stark, you know VD's coming next turn. What, you're saving Rob, and you're gonna save Caitlyn, and you want to make sure that Mira's in shadows, right?
You may actually save Wyman
Okay.
and Caitlin and put Mira into shadows. So
Yeah.
sack one of the either Rob or Wyman or Rob or Eddard this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Tom's main problem is even if he does survive, this round, next round, he just isn't getting much in the way of gold. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Lone will come back here in a couple rounds, but that's about the only round he's going to have to be playing much of it.
Right, and knowing VD's coming, Stark's gonna get some cards here too by sacking people, right?
Yeah, I expect the Stark player to sack two more times.
Okay, so we're seeing Tom discard a bounty of the High Garden in order to give Renly +3.
Yeah.
And what the misclick here is what, just burning through action windows,
Yeah, I'm
not
assuming
giving.
that's what he meant.
Yeah. Yeah, right, Steve. There were 2 milks. I think there was a turn 2 milk and then a turn 3 confiscation, followed by another milk.
So now Tom's taking this to a 17 strength power challenge, which can still be blocked unless I'm miscounting here.
You're saying that's now
Oh,
a
then
20.
he got 3 more. Yep, so that's, yeah, 20. And 20 is the max the Stark player can get to, so Tom should win this. And this also tells the Stark player that Tom has no card draw showing, no cards in hand, so Renly's now down for the rest of the round. I actually think the Stark player may win this round. If they see the line, I think
They can get
they can
9.
win they can win 2 challenges with Rob and Eddard, I think, which that would be 6 power right there. 1 for power claim,
How do
so
you
that's
stand
7.
both of them?
Uh you sack somebody.
Oh, right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
could even sack Mira at this point if you think you can get to the win, because I think they would have to win Dom as well. Since there's only 2 characters standing on Tom's side, he would only be able to oppose 2 challenges. So 6 power from Rob and Eddard, 1 for claim, 1 for unopposed. That takes him to 14, and then if they can win Dom, that would be 15.
I don't know if Tom is right or wrong. It seems like, you sacked a card to get from 12 to 15 strength, whereas like having a 12th strength character that can stand one more time seems good. I don't know, but
It's a tough call to make in that
Yeah, yeah.
situation. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how like he Tom has the start player down to 6 power. It's not often that somebody can close with 6 power without playing any events and only having 2 renown on board. But this is one of the times that they should be able to.
Hmm. Right. So unopposed plus 3 power on characters. This is gonna get to
That
10.
takes them to 10,
Yeah.
and 3 more for another Eddard and Rob plus power clay would be 14. And at this point, the Stark player sees their path to victory there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the Stark player stopped at 14 here, the 8-7 gold they have will be dominant.
Winter is coming. That's gonna get to 15 right here, right?
That should be 14,
14. Okay.
but then they can
Yeah.
sack again and send the entry with Wyman.
No, that did it.
Okay, yeah, that did do it. Never mind. Oh, I didn't see the winners
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
being
Winter
played.
incoming was what did it.
Yeah,
That was
even
a
if
good
they didn't
game.
have that, they would have done it.
Well, I certainly didn't see anything that Tom that nothing looked wrong to me, but
No, it was the Stark player was able to control the
and we also forgot about
Renly
Winter Festival
right.
would have put it up over the top as well. So we didn't even
Oh
get to
yeah,
Winter
I
Festival.
didn't even I didn't even think of that.
Good point, Myth Llama.
Yeah, the what killed Tom this game was only getting 1 round of Renly the entire game, even though he
Mm-hmm.
had him out first.
But this deck seemed poised to neuter Renly, so that's part of the problem. Okay, so Catalonia takes game 9. Final score for the round: USA 5, Catalonia 4. Really good team. I feel like USA squeaked one out. Um,
Yeah, it seemed most of the games I was watching, it was all really tight game.
I think uh, I think Martel Wolf was going to win yesterday for Team USA before the Greyjoy player made a pretty big mistake, but that locked it in yesterday. But all right, Steven is saying if Stark only saw Milk to control Renly, Tom might have had a chance.
Yeah, Tom needed more renown than just the Night of Flowers he had for most of the game that ended up dying.
Getting iced. Yep. All right. Well, Jaren, thanks for joining me this round. Hopefully, be able to help out in round 4 as well. What do we find out? Typically, what matchups for the next round go up at this evening, late, right? We
Yeah,
still
they
got a
go up
lot of.
sometime on Sunday they'll go up.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with more World Cup Team USA action.